Okay, let's see. First one has okay 20. Let's go with the 23 hours ago one. What is this? Whoa. Changes test chips. Close test 12.6. Based on testing results, we're applying changes to Almirante Cerveza. Dude, if this thing doesn't get called a beer or something, I don't know what. Anyway, Galicia, Baleares, and one Speak. Detectability range by air increased. Detectability range by air increased. Okay, no one likes this. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. Air detectability sucks because air spotting sucks. Main battery reload time increased, nerfed. Oh, but they buffed the airstrike instead. Interesting. We'll see how that plays out. I actually don't know what kind of airstrike it's got. Very small testing dogleg. Very small testing dogleg. Oh, is it supposed to have more range on the airstrike? Interesting. It seems much better than Johan de Witt though. 12.5 second reload versus 15 seconds of the Johan. Cruiser dispersion versus battle cruiser dispersion that the Johan has. 30-second fires instead of Johan de Witt's 60-second fires. A bit stealthier, more HP. Potentially better armor as well. But in return, it has smaller guns, the airstrike takes longer, and worse AA. Wonder how it plays. Wonder how that plays. We'll see. That's just CV buffs though, yeah. I mean, it's very baffling to me that they look at the mines in their that they have the mines as they are in the game, like, and they're probably gonna squeeze through that version of it with the horrendous individual mine rendering shenanigans going on. They think that's fine, but then they argue that minimap only spotting for carriers would be too confusing for the players. Because it's not like we have a billion different other instances where that's a thing, like Cyclones. It happens every Cyclone. You see ships on the minimap, but you can't see them normally. You can still go for blind shots on the minimap rendering. Radar. The first 5 seconds, you can see it on the minimap. You can't see it yourself. Like, it's already an established mechanic. There's no reason why they couldn't add it. But you know for a fact that it's pandering to carriers. That's the issue. Oh, new ships. Here we go. What is this? Oh, is it just... Oh, these things are being added? Japanese researchable battleships. Yumihari, Adatara, and Bungo. Dude, I cannot take a ship called Bungo seriously. It's just impossible for me. Unga Bungo. Yeah, like... As well as Japanese premium battleship Tsurugi have been added to the game for testing. For the upcoming closed testing session, a branch of Japanese battleships will be added to the game. The Tier 8, the main battery is represented by 8 410mm guns, and Tier 9 and 10 by 8 and 10 457. Dude, 457 is such a weird number to give Japanese guns, but whatever. Bungo Bingo. The new ships are stealthy battle cruisers, relying on long-range guns with good accuracy and high damage per salvo, as well as new type of equipment. Spotting aircraft with high-precision optics. What is that? When active, this type of spotting aircraft increases not only your main battery guns' range, but also their accuracy. Okay, this might not be known to everyone, but you actually get more accuracy out of a spotting plane already because of Wargaming's wonky coding. For some reason, your dispersion is slightly better if your range is longer. That's why sometimes people build range on ships despite not wanting to use the range for slightly better dispersion, and that's because their coding is spaghetti. But now they've, I guess, turned the bug into a feature. So data is back, except it's a consumable. Woo! Okay. Among the disadvantages of these new battleships are their low HP pool, weak armor, and weak AA defenses. Okay, but I mean, this is every ship. Like, I love when they talk about strong AA and weak AA. It's like, bro, it's irrelevant in this game. You made sure after the CV rework, like, I think it was half a year or 1 year after they did the AA rework, where they completely neutered all AA. And ever since then, AA in this game has been a joke. It is what it is. It's a dump stat. Yeah, it's kind of like concealment nowadays on non-destroyers. Like, concealment is such a meme because of carriers. Thank you, DJ Mouse, for the 29. Japanese battleship Yumihari, sorry. After the end of the Russo-Japanese War, Japan adopted the 8-8 fleet plan, according to which their fleet was to consist of 8 battleships and 8 fast armored cruisers. This plan went through a number of changes. In particular, the armored cruisers were replaced by battle cruisers, and the number of ships was reduced. However, after the outbreak of World War I, ship construction resumed. The design of the new battlecruiser was an evolution of the Kongo-class ships. The design was later changed and resulted in the Amagi class. Thank you, Guegzi, for the 6 months. Adatara. After the United States announced an ambitious shipbuilding program in 1919, the Japanese naval plan was revised. It required 4 battleships and 4 battlecruisers to be built. 13 variants of battleships and battlecruisers were proposed. The so-called Project A, which became the Key class, was chosen as the battleship, and Project K was chosen for the battlecruisers. Construction was scheduled to begin in 1922, but because of the Washington Conference, these battlecruisers were not laid down. A Japanese battleship Bingo. I mean, surely this thing will be called Bingo. After revision of the Japanese fleet development plan, new battleships and battlecruisers were ordered. Project L, that's a L. An enlarged version of Project A, which became Key class, was developed. It was also armed with 5 main battery turrets, but with larger caliber guns. However, this design exceeded Key in displacement by 9,000 tons, which would have resulted in a significant increase in cost. Both Key and these ships were prevented from being built by the Washington Conference, which resulted in a temporary ban on battleship construction and a limit on total tonnage. Just saying, you read it as bungo and not bango. What? That I don't understand that. Bungo? Bungo, bungo, bingo. Bro, the name is dented. Interesting bow design, by the way. Yumihari. 62.2k, plating 25, okay. 22.8k range, nice. That's pretty fucking spicy. AP 12k. Reload 26, 180 degree 35, 2.2 sigma. What? Also, 248 dispersion at 22.8. Is this is battlecruiser dispersion, isn't it? Wait, 22 point. $264. No, is it, wait, no, 264, what was it? 248. Now that still smells like BB dispersion, doesn't it? Is it really battlecruiser dispersion, are you sure? Yamato is 2.1 sigma, yes. Isn't that still battleship dispersion? I think that's still battleship dispersion. I think it's still battleship dispersion. I think it's still battleship dispersion. I don't think that's battlecruiser. It should be tighter than 248 maximum. Unless they state somewhere that it has, but 248 doesn't sound like BC to me. Like, where's my Thunder? Thunder has 21.5 and it's got 213 meter dispersion. So this thing at 22.8 has 204. No, that's not battlecruiser. That's gotta be battleship dispersion. Unless they state somewhere that this is false, this is battleship dispersion. Let me see. Filter. All battleships. Oh, let's see. Range 22.8, 22.7 Kansas. Horizontal 180. What? What range is this? Oh, it's at 12. I was like, hold on. But we can check Kansas in game. Kansas is almost exactly the same. So Kansas should be like 246, basically. 287. 287. Wait. Never mind, it's battlecruiser dispersion, then that's wonky. It's a Japanese. We need to actually look at Japanese ships because they got that wonky dispersion ellipse as well. They got the weird dispersion ellipse where it's more like oval, like oval like this and not like this. That's the Japanese thing. Let's see if we can find what's Amaga's range. 19 to 11. Not really. 21.7, 223, but we're running equipment. Two two nine. I still think it's battleship dispersion. I still don't think it's wait, why did it go to thunder? What the fuck? Why did it switch to thunder? What? I clearly clicked the Izuma. What the fuck did this game just do? What? I clicked Izuma, go to equipment. Okay, cool. Yeah, 240 at 21.7. 248 at 22 at 22.8. Sounds plausible. I think it's normal battleship dispersion. It's normal battleship dispersion. Pretty sure it's normal battleship dispersion. Port lag, yeah, port wonkiness. I'm almost certain this is battleship dispersion, not battlecruiser dispersion. Is the IJN BB formula? Yeah. So it's normal battle. Interesting that they're battle cruisers though, but they have battleship dispersion, but then in return they have incredibly high sigma. That's gonna be... You're gonna have occasional really tight volleys, but then... Because sigma is the propensity of the shells to go towards the center of the crosshair. The higher the sigma, the higher probability of very tight dispersion patterns. However, a wide maximum dispersion means that it can go everywhere. So... almost like more RNG. But yeah, we gotta remember what we need to see what the hell the spotter plane does. Anyway, so but we've established its battleship dispersion. 26-second reload on 410 guns. Isn't that like really good compared to Amagi? Amagi has how many? 10 guns, I think. Yeah, 10 guns. With a 30-second reload and under 20 km range. Okay. So this one has much better DPM. What? 13%, 13.3% better reload. But 2 guns less, but better range and obviously much better sigma. ESW, secondaries irrelevant. IJN secondaries are basically a meme in this game. AA is a tragedy, but it always is. Actually, 5 flak is pretty okay. Wait, that 5 flak wasn't it supposed to have like really weak AA? What's the 5? It's the same flak as the Amagi. 305, 105. It's almost identical AA to the Amagi. And these were supposed to have really weak AA. Yeah, okay. It just goes to show the state of IJN AA in this game, man. Come on. 870 meter per second AP velocity, by the way. That's faster than Amagi's. Amagi's was something like 80 something. Amagi is 806. Amagi is 806. Damn. Almost 10% faster shells with better dispersion and better reload in return for losing 2 turrets. Huh. This is like Izuma guns. Yeah, this is like Izuma guns, aren't they? Jesus. Interesting. Maximum speed 30. Turning circle radius 880. Rudder shoot 15.2. That's actually pretty good. Surface detect 14.7. 14.7. Oops. 14.7. 11.9 conceal. That's pretty good. Okay, surprisingly good smoke firing penalty for some reason. Doesn't make any sense. Damage control, repair fighter, or spotting aircraft with high precision optics. Duration time 65 seconds. Main battery firing range 10%. Max minus 20% dispersion. What? Deadeye was 10% and it was broken. What? Deadeye was 10% and it broke the game. What the fuck? You get 5 charges, duration time, and I mean, if this counts as a spotter plane, like spotting plane, wait, what the fuck? Oh, you can't get the cruiser skill, but you can slot, you can absolutely slot this module. Where is it? This thing, spotting aircraft mod, spotting aircraft consumable time plus 30%. Very probable this is gonna benefit that, since it's classed as a spotting aircraft. This thing so far buffs all the spotter planes, the rapid takeoff spotter and the spotter. So there's not any reason why it wouldn't spot that one as well. I mean, you're probably still gonna get some idiot who picks fighter plane. For some reason, there are people out there who prefer fighter plane over spotter plane. We don't talk about those. We don't talk about those, but they exist. But still, 20% minus dispersion, duration 65, potentially buffed with that module by another 18 seconds. That seems really nuts. Yeah, with the module, get 3 salvos out of it. Easy. Minus 20 dispersion. That's insane, though. That's insane. Who needs battlecruiser dispersion on these things? This is better than battlecruiser, much better. And with 2.2 sigma. So we talked about how dispersion is the area where your shells can land. You're shaving that off by 20%, and then you got a high sigma value as well on a smaller scale dispersion. These things are going to be absolutely ridiculous, aren't they? And remember that the higher tier ones have 457s, so have fun playing a cruiser against these. Overmatching, fast, accurate. Jesus. Interesting. Jesus. Most accurate BBs in the game? Probably. I mean, Yamato has 2.1 sigma. And it's considered extremely accurate. In fact, the only one I know that has higher sigma than Yamato is like Stalingrad. Stalingrad has 2.65 sigma with battlecruiser dispersion. That's why Stalingrad gets those incredible pinpoint volleys every now and then. But I think that's the highest on a BB. Is it? I mean, what's the highest battleship? This battleship Sigma. I mean, Sigma doesn't equal dispersion. You want both. That's why something like Thunder is so nasty, because Thunder has battlecruiser dispersion and good Sigma. That's why I get insane Thunder dispersion. But yeah, 2.1. 2.1 Satsuma Yamato. That's the highest so far. And these things are gonna have 2.2. Plus the funny button sputter planes. Okay. Slava doesn't have anything special in terms of Sigma. I don't remember what Slava had. It was, but it was Slava. Like, that's not Slava's gimmick. Slava has 1.9 Sigma. Yeah. It has completely different dispersion pattern now. It loses less dispersion at range compared to other battleships. There's this common misconception that Slava is more accurate at range than closer, but that's not how it works. Like, if a normal battleship, if this is 1 kilometer, this is 1 kilometer, and this is 20 kilometers, a normal battleship dispersion goes like this. Like this, if you guys can see my mouse, like goes like this. A normal battleship dispersion goes like that. Slava's dispersion instead goes like this. So the loss of accuracy at range is significantly less. Oh, interesting. Thank you, Spam Sam. Slava's gimmick is that it loses less accuracy at range compared to other battleships. Tighter cone, basically. That's the TLDR. Anyway, Adatara, 71k health, 25mm plating, torpedo prediction 29, 457mm guns, 23.9 km dispersion, okay. 860 meters per second shell velocity. What the fuck is that? Which guns have 860? That's really fast for 457s. Who the hell has... Repub doesn't have 457s. That sounds really... Wait, who the hell has that? Okay, let's see. Can I even look for it here? Battleships, all... Let's see, let's look at high tier guns. Main battery. Can we sort by scale? We can't see shell velocity here. We can see shell velocity here, though. 860. No, no one here has 860. No one has 860. Even Patri has 840. This is some abomination new shell that they've created. Satsuma and Shikishima are very slow shells. They just don't... They have a very low drag coefficient, so they don't like... they don't generate a lot of drag, so the shells don't slow down a lot. This is something completely new. This is something completely new. It's not even in the game. I don't think an 860 shell even exists. Does it? No, it doesn't. It doesn't exist. This is something new. This is something completely new. Anyway, 23.9 km range. Reload time 30 seconds. 256. That seems really good for that range. And with the Sigma. Oh. This is some funky shit though. There's a couple at 870, yeah, I know. But 860 and bid 457? That's new. There's nothing even at 430 that goes this fast. Like the fastest we get is Patri 840 at 431 millimeters, but there's nothing 457 or 460 that goes anywhere near this. Generally in World of Warships, the bigger the shell, the slower the shell velocity, but the less air drag. But these things are lightning fast for the caliber, and considering they're going to be big heavy shells, they probably shouldn't have much air drag either. So we'll see how it plays out. AA defense, junk. 6 flak, still pretty decent compared to many of the old ships we have right now. Maximum speed 30 knots. Rudder should have 16.2, surprisingly good. 15 km conceal. 15 km conceal. Okay. 12 km. Ooh. 12.2 km conceal on a battleship with shells this fast that overmatches cruisers. Oof. Oof. This is. I don't know why Wargaming keeps putting overmatching battleships with good conceal in the game. They fuck with a lot of mechanics in the game because you're getting outspotted by a fucking battleship in a cruiser, and the battleship overmatches you. That limits your options so heavily, and it makes the game more passive. This is kind of shit that makes the this is shit that breaks the basic ebb and flow of World of Warships. Kind of when they put radar on the destroyer, it breaks the ebb and flow because in the past you could like use your concealment as a destroyer to outspot the other, and you would have less gunpowder, but in return you would have more stealth, so you could play aggressive because you could rely on your stealth. But then they started putting radar on DDs, and now it doesn't matter that you have better stealth because the guy with better gunpowder has got a fucking magic spell that can spot you at will. So the obvious reaction for upon the addition of radar destroyers is that people play more passive. And that's the same thing that's been happening now with these battleships that overmatch and are more stealthy than cruisers. Cruisers can't push in with the idea that they can use their concealment to their advantage because you're getting these new battleships that are outspotting them and at the same time fucking dev striking them. So shit like this leads to more passive play because you can no longer take calculated risks. All the risks are too heavy. That's the problem. The risk is too heavy. You push in, this thing runs into you, you're fucking dead. And it's bad game design, and it's a sign of a developer who doesn't really understand how the classes interact in World of Warships. Or they understand that they just don't give a shit. Pick one. A damage control repair, dude, minus 20 dispersion though. 457mm fast, 860 meter per second overmatching shells that have 2.2 sigma, and you can pop a funny button to get double deadeye on it. This seems so Ebola to run into in a cruiser. Like, this is the kind of ship that's gonna dev strike your nose in, overmatch Citadel your nose in. It's gonna pop up at fucking 12 kilometers. You're gonna be stuck nose in, and then it's like, okay. You see him fucking pop his spotter plane, and you're like, okay, good night, sweet prince. This is just gonna be brutal. This seems very oof. Most of these ships, most of these are still going snap from the back. Yeah, thank God for that. The average player base is terrible. But we're getting more and more ships into the game that are being balanced by the player base's incapability of using them. Like, this ship has never been as packed with bullshit as it is right now. Carriers, submarines, these hybrid ships, and almost all super ships, like shit like Conde and Annapolis, like absolutely hilariously broken ships. But the player base is so bad that it's not obvious because they don't know how to use them. Your average Conde Annapolis player kills themselves full broadside in 5 minutes. And then you put that same ship into someone who's good, and they pump out 300, 400, 1,000 damage. And like, the only thing keeping a lot of this game in check right now is the poor player base. And that's not really a good basis for balancing a game, because then every now and then you get players who actually have some competence playing these ships, and everyone suffers. I mean, hybrids are a great example because people, instead of playing a battleship that can spot for itself and augment its gameplay with planes, you have people playing a carrier that can snipe from spawn occasionally. Like, misplay is what's balancing a lot of the game right now, not Wargaming's balancing team. Most hybrid players played like a CB, yeah. 82.8k health, okay. Pretty slow HP pull. Good torp protection though. 5457. Okay. Fire range 25, 13.5 AP. The 1 KP again. 30-second reload. You're gonna probably run reload mode for that. 2.2 Sigma. Airstrike. 140, 100mm secondaries. Not gonna get much value out of those, but then again, you shouldn't be building for them anyway. Number of explosions flak in Salva, 8. Damage with explosion. So this is the weak AA of 2023. I don't even want to go back and compare it to like the old Tech 3 ships. Maximum speed 30. Turning circle radius 960 meters. Dude, whenever I see these rudder shift times and then I'm reminded that Montana still sits on a 22.2 second rudder shift time, I have to wonder when Wargaming is going to maybe step in and make that ship a bit more enjoyable to play. Same detect. What was it? 12.15, so 12.2 came detect. Oh boy. Oh, here we go. Spotting aircraft on this thing as well. Max shell dispersion minus 20%. 5 charges. 5 charges. Ten overmatching fast AP shells with minus 20% dispersion and 2.2 Sigma coming your way. Oh boy. Oh boy. Only 30 meters worse turning circle than Yoda. True, true, true. Jesus. One can only hope that they actually make these ships punishable. Like if you catch them broadside or something, you can actually blow them the hell up. One can wish that they're actually punishable ships. Wargaming isn't too big of a fan of punishable ships anymore, but one can only hope. Because these guns seem nuts. That minus 20% dispersion thing. Like Deadeye was 10%. And the volleys we pulled off with Deadeye was on just normal BBs. I mean, I remember, chat, I played Yamato. This is a ship that will have about the same dispersion as that thing, but so this is going to be about the same, except this thing has worse dispersion. This thing has worse dispersion and worse Sigma, and this was Deadeye. And Deadeye was fucking stupid as hell.
Are we gonna pretend like there's an actual dispersion there?
Deadeye looked like that.
I took enough lead. I've been playing too much slow.
Deadeye looked like that, and like it's gonna be so dumb. What did we just smash? This was what testing the new Deadeye commander skills. Like, and this is 2.1 Sigma. This is Deadeye. Remember that we're gonna get minus 20% dispersion. Minus 20% dispersion on.
Okay.
We're gonna get minus 20% dispersion on that spotter plan. That's gonna be so dented. Do we have some juicy volleys that really shows how dumb it can get with the Sigma combination? Jesus, like... Oh, Cruiser's gonna suffer so hard. Cruiser's gonna suffer so goddamn hard. The biggest issue really was the consistency. And this is gonna be constantly like this. It's gonna be constantly like that.
I think it's here.
Dude, Flaw, look at the fucking dispersion, buddy. I want to see it. Look at that. Like, it's gonna be constantly like that all the time.
Oh, fuck.
Dude, this is gonna be so dented. It's gonna be so dented. We're gonna have super Deadeye on these ships. Your GK salvo against Chrysanthos? Yeah, I'll never forget that shit. Do we still have it? Do we still have that Flamu G Deadeye? Shit, no, I can't. I don't know where it is. It might be gone with the ancient times, but yeah, no. Deadeye was so broken Deadeye was so broken they had to remove it. And now they're adding double Deadeye back as a consumable. I think the salvo on the Henry earlier in the vid is the best. Wait,
Did I get
where do we
minigun?
shoot that? When do we shoot the Henry? Oh, let me look at that. Oh, it's this clip? And remember, you're gonna get better Sigma, better dispersion. Where is it? What clip? Oh wait. Oh, we spotter plan. Hello? YouTube, please. Get that right.
Dude, look at that fucking dispersion.
At this point when you don't
Holy
even
shit.
get the added benefit of
Jeez, look at that fuck.
Unfortunately, that is dodging, but look at that fucking dispersion. Oh,
23 came away, man. That kind of dispersion. And we're... This, like, Deadeye was objectively broken. And we're gonna get worse. I don't understand this developer. I don't understand this developer. Japanese battleship Tsurugi. The battleship and battlecruiser designs included in the new 8-8 fleet had minimal differences. Number 13 battlecruisers had practically no difference in speed from battleships of the key class. This was beyond the scope of Japanese accepted naval tactics with the fast wing of the fleet. To increase speed and turn the number 13 class into a true battlecruiser, one option would have been to remove one of the main battery turrets. However, the construction of the number 13 class ships was cancelled after the Washington Agreement was signed. Tsurugi is a battlecruiser with powerful long-range main battery guns. She is also equipped with deep-water torpedoes similar to Asashi's, but with a shorter range. The ship is also notable for its high speed and good concealment. As for her disadvantages, she has small HP pool and weak armor, particularly around the citadel. Okay. Asashio deep-water torpedoes. I mean, the good thing is, if this thing has a vulnerable citadel, and you put a ship with torpedoes in the hands of the IJN player base, they will kill themselves, guaranteed. Because the IJN player base in World of Warships is probably competing with, like, the German BB player base in terms of who's the dumbest, most dented animal available. Whereas the German battleships never understand what they're doing. The IGN players, they always know exactly what their goal is. They load into the game and they have one goal the entire match, and that's to use their torpedoes as much as possible. Regardless of the situation, regardless of the target, there's a 1k HP ship in front of them that they could shoot and kill. They gotta turn broadside and torpedo. There's a battleship with his guns loaded. They could just farm him. No, they're gonna turn out full broadside and they're gonna torpedo. That is the IGN player base in this game. It doesn't matter what ship it is. If it's Shimakaze, Yugumo, Kagero, Yoshino, Zao, Ki. It doesn't matter what ship they're playing. If it has torpedoes, then you better believe that's the main armament on the ship, and they will do everything in their power to use it. So, because of that, I'm not that worried about this ship, because if there's one thing the IGN player base really has proven in this game is that they have no concept of when and how to actually use their torpedoes. So, in that sense, I'm not too worried about this one. I'm actually not too worried about this one. Ship parameters, 69.7k. Okay, 41% torpedo belt. 3x2. 3x2 457. What is this? IGN Georgia? Okay. Okay, what is a floating carrier? Interesting message history, bro. Are you okay? Okay, 28-second reload, 205. Pretty good dispersion. I think that's battlecruiser dispersion. That looks like battlecruiser dispersion, actually. That is battlecruiser dispersion, pretty sure. 28-second reload as well. Pretty standard planes. That looks like really good dispersion. It's a Zuma dispersion? Yeah, that's what I thought. It's battlecruiser dispersion. Torpedo tubes 2x4. Deep-water torps can only hit battleships and aircraft carriers. 20k damage though. Range 50! Wait, didn't they? Similar to Sasha's, but with a shorter range. Okay, well, not a whole lot shorter if they're 15 kilometer. 15 kilometer deep water torps. Okay, what the? 67 knots! Okay. Like, the thing with deep water torps, the Sasha torps, is that they're basically impossible to avoid if you don't have Hydra. Because you don't see them coming. By the time you see them, they're hitting you. You have zero reaction. That's why Sasha is such a good counter to BBs. I thought they were gonna like make these torps a bit more brawling oriented, but 15 km range is actually pretty nutty. Retains their 67 knot speed as well. Okay, maximum speed 35. Oh wait, how fast is this thing gonna be? We're gonna run a 35 and we're gonna run brisk because we're not dented. And we're gonna run speed flag because we're also not dented. 40. It's literally an IJN Georgia. It's an IJN Georgia with torps. Huh? Interesting. Surface 14.1 surface detect. Wait, what the fuck is that? Yo, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is 11.4 surface conceal? Or matching battleship, by the way. That does 40 knots. What the fuck? What the fuck? Really? Dude, I wish they would stop giving all their new ships they put in such good concealment while the old ones are just suffering. Imagine playing cruisers in 2020. Dude, battleships are weak and cruisers have never been stronger. Trust. So this thing is going to be able to stealth torpedo. Reload time 150. You know, when you go in with this thing, you can drop like both sides deep waters. And then you can close the distance. It's going to take you like 2.5 minutes to close the distance, like when you're fighting and so forth. And by the time you're up and brawling, you might have them up again. Are they protected as well? I think they're protected. I think they're protected torpedoes, Jen. Yeah, look, they're protected. They're protected torps. Fuck me. They're protected torpedoes. Center ship protected torpedoes. What I mean with protected is, if you look at something like the Turpets has the torpedoes up on the deck here. Which means when HE shells hit the ship, they break. Same with Schlief, and they break all the time, they get disabled, and so forth. But these, when they're inside the ship like this, they're protected by all the armor. And the odds of breaking this is much lower. Much lower. Because you don't get the same type of splash damage hits and so forth. Protected torps usually means worse angles? Yes. But I don't know how much of an issue it's going to be if this thing does 40 knots. Like, you might just make it to the side of a ship anyway. We'll see what kind of angles you get. Interesting. Quite some abominations being added, boys. Quite some abominations being ignored.